Israel Adesanya, you have done so much media this week that I feel like putting you through the same questions, is he going to miss weight, all that sort of stuff. I think your soul's been sucked away every time. So I wanted to do something a little bit different and just fire some 20 questions at you. Some MMA related, some definitely not. So we'll go for it. Question number one: if you had a boat, what would you call it?
Ooh, I had one. I had a name. Fuck. I had a name for one. Oh, I lost it. Damn it. Okay, let me think. If I had a boat, if I had a yacht, a super yacht, you can cut the thinking bits out, because I want to really make. I had a name for a while, but I lost it because I decided I'm not gonna get a boat anymore. I'll just rent one, hire one if I need it. But if I had a boat, I'll call it. Ooh. Fuck, let me think. Say sea biscuit.
Sea biscuit.
Sea biscuit, yeah.
I like it. What's the worst job you've ever had?
I think working in a tannery, leather tannery, in the ovine department, the sheepskin department, where you had to kind of like wear gloves and a face mask and use acid to peel the wool off the excuse me. Oh, thank you. It's not Corona. That's Tim's joke, by the way.
I think everyone's freaking, assuming.
No, but use the acid to peel the wool off the skin, and then also you pull it in the drum and let it roll around and all that shit. So that was 4 days on, 4 days off, 12 hours a day. Some days it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. Some days it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday on, so you missed a weekend, just depending on the cycle. But I think that was the worst job I've had so far.
What's the largest land mammal you could outrun?
A cow. Okay, hold up. Not a cow. Some cows are really fat. Not a bull. A cow full of milk.
Who would win in their prime, Anderson Silva or George St. Pierre?
Anderson Silva.
How?
Knockout.
You can send USADA to anyone's house at 6 in the morning. Whose house do you send it to?
Like actually USADA, not like the local drug enforcement, Paulo Costa's house.
It didn't have to be a fighter, but I'll take it.
Oh, okay, let me see. It doesn't have to be a fighter.
It's more for the annoyance,
For the annoyance, just to fuck with them. To wake them up early in the morning. Paulo Costa.
Should John Jones rematch Dominic Reyes next?
I think that's a good fight. Yep, I think I'll buy it. Yeah.
If it's not Yoel Romero, who is the UFC's scariest fighter?
Myself.
Who wins, Goku or Superman?
Goku.
I agree. You're in a barroom fight for whatever reason. You can pick you can pick 3 UFC fighters to be with you, but not members of your gym. Who do you pick?
Okay, not members of my gym. Brad was the first one I was gonna go for. Brad Riddell's crazy. Who would I pick? I'll pick the Black Beast. You need a big brawler, just kind of like the Shield, and then the people behind him. I'll pick. Barroom brawl. I'd pick Jorge. Used to street fights. One more. I'd pick. Let me see. Not members of my gym. Damn it. Okay, one more. I'd pick. Let's say. I'll pick a woman. I'd pick. What's her name? Rose. Yeah, I'd pick Rose. I think she can lull them to some shit and then fuck them up.
What's one thing you're better at than you are at fighting?
Ooh. My brain's horrible. I didn't say anything. One thing that I'm better at eating.
What's the worst date you've ever?
No jokes. It's a joke. It's timing. It's the timing. That's why. It's the timing. I liked it. But yeah.
Worst date you've ever been on?
Worst date. Fuck. Let me see. Let me see. Worst date I've ever been on. Fuck. I was at the person's house. This is after I got a little bit of fame. I think after King in the Ring, so I was locally like New Zealand known, and ended up at their pad drinking wine, dancing, and at one point I see the person texting, right, and then I glance and I see this.
Oh yeah.
And that just pissed me off. And I was just like, what the hell? Like, why would you do that? I just wanted a photo. Like, just fucking ask. So that was like my first instance of someone being creepy, but still smashed. But yeah.
And what was her name and Instagram handle?
Yeah,
No, I'm
you
joking.
fucking put her on blast.
I'm joking. You can time travel. Where do you go?
Any dimension or is any time in this realm?
We'll say this realm, just for the convenience of the viewers.
For the convenience of the viewers, this realm, I'd like to go into I want to see the 80s when in New York in the 80s when like hip hop was being founded. I think that would be a cool time to be alive.
Cool. What's your favorite MMA moment that you're not involved in?
There's a few, so many to pick from. The first one that jumped at me, it wasn't really favorite but scary, was Anderson submitting Chael because of how invested I was in that fight. But I'd say, MMA moment. MMA, not just UFC, MMA moment. I think Showtime kick as well. Showtime kick. That was, I remember where I was. That was one of those ones. I remember exactly. I came back from town. I missed the fight, so I was like, let me watch the fight. Oh, back and forth. And then the kick happened in the last round, last minute, and I just lost my shit, and I ran to the balcony. And I went back and rewinded it like 50 times before the fight. Before I even knew who won the fight, I had to rewind it like 50 times. Like, is that?
I did the same thing.
Because I was already drunk. I was just like, did I see this shit right? Yeah, that was cool.
What's the worst thing about being a fighter?
I think, to be honest, trolls. Not just trolls, but fans. I say fans in general. It's the best thing about being a fighter, but also the worst thing, because it's a double-edged sword. And it's normally just online. Or not even online, it doesn't really bother me, but like the fact that I've seen them in person and they all fold in person, every single one of them. So I'm like, I feel bad for you because you're such a spineless bitch. Yeah.
Fuck, marry, kill. Costa, Cannonier, Darren Till. If you run the UFC, what's the biggest change you make?
Definitely, if I was Dana White, which was my first job I wanted in the UFC, but not anymore. I'll change just the criteria of the scoring system, and I'd use my pull, my power somehow to really, because he's a busy man, but really, I'd fuck with the commission. I'd really tell them to use all the 10 points. The example I've used all week was my round with Gastelum in the 5th round. That's like a 10-4. It's 10 points. What's the point of having 10 points if you don't use all of them? You know, that's like a 10-4 in my eyes because I washed them.
You've predicted loads of things in your career, but what is the one main thing that surprised you?
I like these questions. This is what I like because if it's the same shit, I'm like, ugh. But this is good. You're making me think. Yeah.
Well, absolutely tired, yeah.
What's the one thing that surprised me? I think still people. People surprise me, in person. The manners and respect goes out the window. Say mine. No, but their manners and respect go out the window, and it's like this passed down ideology of when you see a superstar, you're supposed, and they have the same line every time, same exact line, and I give them the same exact line that I know will work on them and get them all fucking tickled up. But a lot of people just lose their manners and respect. Children, they come up to me and, sir, can I please have a photo? Or, are you Israel? And then just they're so polite, but adults are so stupid, especially when they're drunk. And their manners and respect go out the window. And that's, I think, shocked me. The human condition shocked me with clout, with fame, with Instagram followers. I've seen people treat me like shit, but then when they find out who I am, oh, he's got 2 million followers. And I've seen them flip the script like that. And it's just, I'm like, wow, you're easily, you're that. You know, is the clout that important to you? Yeah, so that surprised me. Yeah, it's very malleable. You can shape the opinion. I could make someone do some shit just because I want to, but yeah.
Right. Last few. What's the biggest mistake you've made in life and what lesson did you learn from it?
I can't tell you that, but I've learned my lessons. I don't make the same mistakes often. I make new ones.
Okay. Final two. You've done 1,000 interviews. What is the one question you wish you were asked?
How do you feel? Nah, jokes. Nah. I don't know. still waiting for that one. I've been asked some good questions. There's been some good questions in this interview in particular, but I'd say one that I wish I was asked. Fuck, my brain. Never mind. Next question.
Final one. Fill in the blank. Or maybe you could, same thing. Israel Adesanya is...
Israel Adesanya is happy.
And done with this interview.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.